I would strongly advise you to beware of chat GPT time traps. Don't get me wrong. I like ChatGPT. I really like that, for example, sometimes when I provide trainings which are more complicated than whatever I do for you. So, for example, I had a training on investment in Europe, so like passive investments and so on. And I really like it that I can say, okay, I've read a research and the research would tell about this and that. Could you please find me the link? And it would find the link for me, despite the fact that I didn't remember the name of the research. I didn't remember the author of the research. So that was indeed fantastic and it helped me a lot. And sometimes I use ChatGPT to recognize some screenshots or to, let's say, think about other analogies that I can do for people. But also you need to understand that you actually spend time on interrogation. It happens so very often that ChatGPT gives you something wrong, right? And then we have to ask it, okay, please do something else, and so on. Another problem is that it gives you the wrong angle. Okay, so I have been reviewing lots of tests, lots of attempts of students, and sometimes I can see from the context that this work is ChatGPT generated. And well, that's another thing why I pay money and then you ask a tutor to review ChatGPT's work. But consider this. If you are a medical student, then what happens is that when you go to your exams, you all may have the same symptoms that will be given to you in this scenario. But the thing is that the approach to those very symptoms is going to be very different. If you're studying to be a dentist, this means that if, let's say, the scenario says that a person has a headache, you would need to say, oh, probably that is because of cavity. Probably there is something with the root canals and that gives this impulse. If you are starting to be a cardiologist, then you are going to say, oh, that's because of the blood pressure. If you're starting to be a physiotherapist, you're going to say, oh, that is because a person has a bad posture or whatever. So as you can see, if you're starting to be a medical student, you're not going to have a positive mark in your exam if you are using somebody else's specialty. Now, ChatGPT is the internet-based. And when we're talking about different aspects, well, different syllabuses and topics, there is so much over there. So, for example, when we're talking about the APM and we're talking about performance management, well, performance management is that big. And your syllabus is only that big, and the scenario is only this big. And the problem is that with the ChatGPT, unfortunately, it gives you the wrong angle of the question. So don't try to use ChatGPT in order to help you to solve past paper. It's going to be quite wrong. Another problem with ChatGPT is quite often it gives you outdated advice. This would relate to SBR, for example, to financial reporting, because it can start giving you something that has been changed already. Why? Well, because there are still many websites that use the old information. And you don't want it. You don't want to be taught something that has been outdated. So, for example, when we're talking about SBR, IS 7, the statement of cash flows, has been updated in line with IFRS 18 update. And now we have to start with the operating profit, not with any profit figure. But ChatGPT quite often doesn't know that. And I will tell you that. So I have been teaching for decades, for over a decade, and I have the access to all the resources and so on. So it was very easy for me to upload the full database of ACCA's knowledge to ChatGPT, and it still gives me crappy advice. And even if you are trying to use ChatGPT for tests, quite often it is a time trap. Why? Well, when we're talking, let's say, about IFRS, so the exams such as BR, exams such as financial reporting, well, nobody needs questions. Nobody gets tested on questions like, what is the number? What is the name of the standard? And so on. No, that is not the focus of these very papers. But that is what ChatGPT actually does. And I will tell you that. So I have LinkedIn and I have weekly quizzes on SBR and financial reporting, so on IFRS. And of course, I want to give my readers the greatest value. So, of course, I'm going to look for new ideas and so on. And quite often, I ask ChatGPT, the paid version, that has the access to the full SBR syllabus and the standards and so on. And I ask to come up with the quizzes, and they are crappy. So I ask them to give me 5 quizzes, and I end up redoing one of them or just writing from scratch in order to test the ideas that I actually tested. So the problem with using ChatGPT for quizzes is that it's going to teach you something that is not needed for the exam, and you're going to lose focus of something that is needed. And that is actually this ChatGPT time trap that we need to start to avoid. But we have been talking about the motivation. Why else am I talking about the ChatGPT? Well, because, I think that you might feel quite demotivated, that you have everything chewed for you, and you still can't remember it, right? So the problem when you are using AI is that it gives you, quite often, you ask it to summarize, to give you the information short, but the information that is short is not something that our human brains can remember. So short information can't be remembered. Now, look, if I am going to ask you to remember the words such as window, table, spoon, glass, wall, and let's say handle, well, you can't remember them unless you are going to put them into the context, how you are going to imagine, how you're going to look at this very object, so you're going to put them into the line, into the sentence, and so on. So that's why naturally we remember better from video comment, well, better from individual work when there is a dialogue. And as such, that is why these individual classes are the best. But as I told you, that they are not cheap. Then the best way to remember is when you watch video lectures, because with video lectures you can see the gestures and so on, the context, examples, the voice, how the voice moves and so on. So again, this makes the picture not flat but rather 3D, and it's easier for you to remember. Then it's going to be books, and only then there is going to be ChatGPT. It doesn't work like that. We do need mnemonics quite often, but not only mnemonics. So I'm telling you that because that could destroy your motivation.